everyone. It's Iman here at White Lance, and I'm really privileged to be joined here by Hessen at Arcadia, who's kindly given up some of his time to chat with us about the amazing marketplaces that they're building over there, take us through some of the features that they have on offer, a few examples maybe, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll get a good idea of why Arcadia might be the provider that you go to, what's unique about them, and also how you can take the next steps in getting started. So, Hessen, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Iman. Thank you so much for the introduction. And hi, guys. So very excited to be here. I'm Hessen. I'm from Arcadia, one of the world's leading marketplace builders. What we do is we allow anyone to build their own online marketplace without needing to know how to code. So really, our software makes it easy for an entrepreneur like yourself to build a marketplace within even minutes. So what I'll do is I'll take you through our website and how easy it is to set up a marketplace on Arcadia. But before that, I think many entrepreneurs have the idea or the impression that starting a business requires a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, and it's really, really difficult to get started. And it is true in some aspects. Some entrepreneurs probably don't plan enough. But I think the technical part of setting up a business has become a lot easier over the years. And companies like Arcadia, and there are a lot of other software providers out there, they actually make it easy for entrepreneurs to get started without having that much of a barrier. Technology isn't the barrier anymore. It's probably things like understanding your market that people should do and should spend that time doing instead of building out the technology. So yeah, I'll just go straight into my website if that's okay, and just show you what Arcadia offers. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and yeah, I'll just be taking us through the Arcadia website just to show you how easy it is to set up and kind of show you by way of our website a little bit of an introduction to Arcadia. So Arcadia is a company that allows anyone to build their own marketplace, like I just said. We are headquartered in Singapore, but we are a global company. So most of our users come from the US or North America and Europe as well. So as you can see, it's really, you get all these features when you start a marketplace. And the main value that we want to offer our users is that there's no coding required. It's really easy to set up. And it's also got some customizability behind that drag and drop functionality. As long as you know how to upload an image, as long as you know how to type in words, you can actually customize your marketplace really quite easily. We do have different templates that allow our users to choose the type of marketplace that they like to build. So they can build for services. They can also build to rent or allow people to rent out items on the marketplace. And we also allow people to set up marketplaces to sell retail. So for the purposes of the demo later, I'll be showing a little bit more around the services and the rental templates, simply because I think that's where a lot of hyper-vertical, hyper-local marketplaces have been created. And I think most entrepreneurs are already own communities around those things. So we've made it very easy to have beautifully designed templates. You can alter them even after you've launched with them. And Arcadia is one of the marketplace providers that allow you to do some custom coding on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's all doable even within the growth packages onwards on Arcadia. So we do have a resources page, which allows you to learn much more about starting your own online business. And I would encourage you, if you're still on the process of figuring out what kind of marketplace you want to build or how you want to get your first merchants, you can check out our resources here. And yeah, but for the technical bits, just stay on and I'll show you a demo of how to build a marketplace. So our users typically come to our site, and anywhere along the site, they can actually get started for free. and this would launch them into a 30-day free trial. I won't sign up for a marketplace right now. What I'll do is I'll kind of go right into a demo that's already been built, and that would be right here. So I've created a music marketplace or a music teacher hiring marketplace where anyone can come on and sign up as a music teacher and start getting students from it. So as you can see, a very typical marketplace flow is that it has a search bar and a date field where you can select what kind or when you want your service rendered. And you can then click into a category of music lessons that you want to book. You would also be able to view things like how the marketplace works, what value does the marketplace provide you. And as you can see, all the listings here are provided by independent music teachers on the site. So I'll show you a bit about how you would set this up in the back end. This is the back end of an Arcadia marketplace, and everyone who signs up will get this backend delivered to them immediately. So the first thing I would say entrepreneurs do is that they would start by organizing the infrastructure of the marketplace. So that's really the content management of the marketplace. And this is where you would do things like set up your categories and your custom fields. So categories allow you to put in different types of services in your marketplace, and you can go as deep as you like. So you can do under piano, classical piano. You can even go down into graded lessons and things like that. So that's all customizable at the category level.
So
you can add
sorry, Hassan, can I just jump in quickly? How does the
Sure.
category interact with the items? Is it that an item has to sit under a category, or can an item sit under multiple categories? Are the categories used for searching purposes only?
Right, great question. So the categories can be assigned to multiple items, and that's because some items would be some users might create a category called a special category for a special season, like Christmas, like some lessons you might want to do over Christmas, or like promotional thing like 50% off on all these items. And so being a category could also be a way of organizing the items and organizing searchability around the items. So to answer your second question, yes, it is meant to be it is meant to allow people to search for items easily, but it also is meant to help to organize items. So you can put them into different categories, and every item has to belong to at least one category or subcategory. It's also how you organize information on the item. So it's a good segue to the next part, which is custom fields. Every time you add a listing to the marketplace, or the merchant would need to put in a series of fields on those items. So in the case of this music marketplace, it could be things like adding a video of themselves, saying whether they donate any proceeds to charity, or saying, I only teach adults, or I can teach kids as well. So all these are information that a seller might want to specify. So like in Airbnb, the comparable thing in Airbnb would be
utilities or something
allowed,
yeah,
right, in the listing and things like that. So custom fields really allow those things to be placed in, and how they interact with categories is that you can actually specify which categories these custom fields apply to. So you can say, I want it to apply to all categories because I want the user to, I want the merchant to say whether they teach kids or not, or not. So yeah. So once I've saved this, it will apply to all categories. So that influences the item upload process, which I'll show you in a bit. when I upload an item, I would need to fill in all these custom fields if I'm uploading into a applicable category, right? So this whole complex bit is really about just organizing the information in your marketplace and making sure that your users upload the information and the fields that are required for searchability and for a user to find the right fit for them. So some of these custom fields will turn into filters in the search experience as well. So things like drop downs, things like checkboxes can become filters for the user as they search the site.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the next big thing that most users do, most administrators, owners of marketplaces do when they're setting up, would be to manage or invite users to their marketplace, because these are the people and these are the assets that bring content into your marketplace. As a marketplace owner, especially in a services one, there's only so many of you that you can put up on your own marketplace. So you need people on your marketplace to start driving buyers to it. So inviting users is a very simple process of just sending them an email. You can invite merchants by putting their emails here, and they'll receive a beautifully crafted email from your system. What you can then do is you can then log into their accounts after they've created them, and you can also check out what they've started uploading. You can actually help them with uploading as well. So what we've understood from some administrators with some less tech-savvy merchants is that sometimes they've had to go in and help them with uploading the right kind of images, the right kind of content for their listing. And that's something you can do from this portal. So as you can see from the right side, you can actually log in to all your merchant accounts and consumer accounts. You can sort them according to what type of user they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also download a list of all of them. You can also sort by...
It looks like you can restrict user access as well. You know, if there's some issue happening, you can pause their access to the site. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so important when you're trying to manage the quality on your site. You want to make sure that people are doing what you expect them to. They're keeping within your brand proposition. So if people start uploading cooking lessons, maybe that's not what you want at the start. You have to take them down, because that will affect the quality of listings on your site.
How about changing the defaults to require approval? For if you're really keen to have a very high quality, can you set it by default to be not approved, and then you look at their profile and then decide manually if you want to approve them on the system?
Yeah, and that's something that's absolutely doable with a little bit of customization.
Okay.
But you can also set your marketplace to be a private marketplace. So that's a good point you brought up. You want to make sure that you pre-vet some merchants that come in, and that's something you can do under private settings.
Okay.
So if I turn this on, I can set it such that all the sellers that sign up have to fill up a form, and I, as the marketplace owner, have to approve them before they can start selling. They can start transacting on the marketplace. Okay. So I can even go as extreme as setting it such that all guest users have to sign up and have to get my approval. But that's really if your marketplace is a really, really tight community and you don't want people just coming in and renting the services of others. Yeah. Right. So I think that's the big two things that most users do when they start their marketplace. Another thing that users might be interested in would be then the payments part of the marketplace. Okay. So how do you make sure your marketplace is transactional, right? And that's something you can do under the payment section. The three there are three items here, or three payment gateways here that we have pre-integrated. The fourth one is a custom payment gateway that I've integrated myself, just to show you that it's possible. But the top three we've integrated because they came pre-packaged with a split payment functionality. So what that means is Stripe, for example, would automatically split the payments between the marketplace owner as well as the merchants on the marketplace. And that's something that really takes a load off the administrator of the marketplace. So some administrators, they just don't have a team behind them right now to help them with the reconciliation of the funds to each of the merchants. So what we've done is we've pre-integrated only the payment gateways that do an automatic split.
Sure.
But let's say the admin or the owner of the marketplace decides that I've grown to a certain size, I want to start to do more complex payment methods, right? I want to hold the payments before releasing them, so escrow. That's something that can be done as well.
Hmm.
And on Arcadia, it can be done in two ways, mainly by becoming the payment gateway, becoming the merchant on record by taking all the payments from the payment gateway. So as a marketplace owner, what I'll do is I'll integrate a custom payment method. It could also be Stripe. It's just they're more e-commerce product where you're the one collecting all the payments. And then at the end of the month or when the service is rendered, you can split the funds manually yourself. And that usually requires you to have a team. But that's how we think um, the most control you'll be able to achieve over the escrow or delayed payments. Another way would be to integrate with a escrow provider.
Hmm.
We do have a partnership with Payoneer, which is
Okay.
quite a sophisticated escrow product. The only thing would be that they do charge pretty high fees
Hmm.
for the fact that they do this escrow payment for you. So typically, it would only make sense to really engage a dedicated escrow provider when you're doing when you're doing transactions of very high um, payouts. So like you're dealing in art pieces or you're
Okay.
dealing in
So, for
like really,
example, if we can work through this escrow for a second, the way that your system is set up means that if someone wants to do mass payments for small amounts, it doesn't make sense to integrate with Payoneer. So your option then is for them to become the merchant of record. And what would the scenario look like in that case? Would the payments come into your own bank account as an entrepreneur, and then you are responsible for dispersing those funds manually to your sellers? So you would need to collect their payment information and make those payments every period that you decide.
yeah, absolutely. So you would be holding the money until the day that you decide to release them, and you would need all the information of your merchants to be able to do that.
And is there
And
a system that you can integrate with in your
so,
system to manage that? For example, like PayPal have a Hyper Wallet, and there's
hmm,
TransferWise bulk payments, and a few other providers out there who provide bulk payment as a service.
yeah, um, it would be actually through the payment gateways that you achieve this. And what Arcadia would help to generate would be the reconciliation information, but it won't actually be where you control the payouts from, because the payment gateway still has to be the one that controls the payments and holds the payee's information.
Hmm.
Arcadia can collect that and push it across, but the actual engine that's going to settle it is the payment gateway. So typically, we would direct our customers to use the payment gateway's own reconciliation functions to do that. So, like you mentioned, either PayPal's Hyper Wallet, it could be through TransferWise. Stripe also has a dashboard where you can also do your reconciliation from there, but you
Hmm.
just need your merchant's bank accounts with you.
Sure. And I think
Yeah.
Stripe also has a marketplace tool where they can hold funds for 90 days,
Yeah.
for the purposes of a kind of a a mini escrow, not officially an escrow, but effectively an escrow for 3 months.
Yeah.
Is that the same service that you're providing here, where you can hold money for that time, or is that a different service which is not offered?
So I would say that the Stripe service that's being offered is kind of a mini delay on your payments. So it might not actually be based on the fact that your service has been rendered and rendered well. What Stripe can do is it can delay your payments to a certain degree, but it might not follow your exact schedule. So what we can do is we can allow you to integrate with that particular product. But what you see here, it in this particular page is that the immediate payout
Sure.
solution, where it's gonna be a few days only. It's not gonna be 90 days.
So, just to summarize the reason I'm interested in escrow is because most of the people in my network are freelance platforms, and typically they all require an escrow. So the payment gateways and the available countries and locations tends to be the biggest headache to actually manage. So it's really
Yeah.
interesting to learn. And if I'm correct in summarizing that the out of the box offers that you have are instant payments, which provide split payments.
Yeah.
But if you want to manage escrow, the first step is to do it manually by the reconciliation tools of those gateways, and then the second step is to integrate with a more expensive provider like Payoneer. Do you have
Yeah.
any kind of middle of the road where people have, for example, integrated with, let's say, Mango Pay, where they provide payments out of the box, escrow out of the box, or via an e-money solution?
Yes, that's been a hotly requested
Okay.
item. So how we've kind of tried to work with that is we've spoken to Mango Pay before, just to see what their pricing was like. But I think I'm not sure about now, but at that point there was some issues with cross-border transactions, which is
Mm,
what our user really needed.
mm,
So our user that I can show you in a bit needed the funds to be going across from a country in Europe to another. Not sure if that's possible now, but at that point it was a little bit difficult for MangoPay to do.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think my understanding was that that's like one of MangoPay's advantages, whereas
Mm.
Stripe, for example, does charge 2% for currency changes, right? So if you're paying in euros and it's going into a sterling account, they charge you a little bit for that. So I guess that's something that's is that part of the payment strategy that's set up? I mean, is there a clear understanding of how your clients know how to price the products so that the end user actually pays for the transaction fees?
Right. So it's more around how right now it's more around how users can find the right product.
Mhm.
They haven't. I don't think they've been pricing their products around the extra transaction fees. They have thought about it, but I think because a lot of their value comes from the fact that they allow people to find each other
Mm.
online, and they don't want people to find each other online and then go into the gray market and then just transact directly with each other. I think they prefer to absorb some of those fees for now. Um, Not so sure about what they would like to do going forward, but I think yeah. Thanks for
Okay.
sharing about.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting to hear. Thanks very much for sharing. It looks like this, especially this customizable option that you have, means that you can pretty much integrate anything you like. So if you come with a particular goal, and let's say you wanted to work in Nigeria, and you want to work with some uh, payment method there, it's possible to actually
Yeah,
integrate that system. Yeah.
yeah, and we've actually seen quite a few Nigerian marketplaces just set up like a couple months back. they integrated with Paystack, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nigerian payment gateway. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that was quite interesting to see. And yeah, I think the main point of this, the main idea behind adding a custom payment method is just allowing you to localize to your situation,
Mhm.
and to wherever you are at. So that's really the point behind it. But most of the time, what we found is a lot of newer payment gateways, or even actually older payment gateways, don't have a split payment functionality, and that's why we've made the custom payment method one that allows you to be the merchant of record,
Mm.
which kind of fits with the whole idea that people who want a more custom flow might also want to hold the money themselves and delay it and release it based on their schedule.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Cool.
thanks for
Great.
sharing about MegPay as well, because I think that's something I'm taking away from this, and
Awesome.
and trying to restart a conversation with them. So yeah, that helps. Thanks.
Can I just ask a
Um,
few other questions? Because it looks like when you were going through the demo, there were a few kind of interesting features that just jumped out to me. So under content management, there was a layout tool. Um,
right.
is that, I mean, it looks like it's in beta. I'm assuming that means you can kind of change a little bit of the page templates that you already have set up. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is how you would change the landing page layout of your marketplace. So what I showed you here,
Mhm.
that's entirely customizable just by uploading images here and changing your copy here.
Mhm.
You can add links, you can add slider panels to the top. You can customize how many categories you want to show at the get-go. You can also put in panels, like value proposition panels, what we call
Nice.
them, and you can put big call to action panels as well. So all of this is doable from here, and we've made it quite easy to do.
Mhm.
If you want, you can also add a video to your
Mhm.
top panel, like a GIF that keeps
Mhm.
running.
Mhm.
As long as you have the MP4 link, you can just paste it in here, and it will play a looping video on
Mhm.
your hero panel.
Cool.
So this layout tool is really meant to make it easy for you to set up a custom landing page
Mhm.
that tells the story of your marketplace
Mhm.
when someone lands on it.
So this is specifically customization of the landing page, but the other pages, like I'm assuming there's a category search and these kind of filtering pages. Those are, if you like, hard coded, and you may be able to change some of the branding, but there isn't the same kind of layout, customizable layout tool. Am I guessing that correctly?
Yeah. So out of the box, the main page that we allow customizations on would be the landing page. But you can code like your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into those other pages. So that's if you're able to and you have some coding skills,
Hmm.
or you can get a custom coder. We do have some that we can recommend to help you with that process of adding different category layouts, adding different item page layouts to
Okay.
your site.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that's all doable. Yeah, and I can kind of show you an example of that um, with a customer that's done that here.
Hmm.
So this is a motivational marketplace in the US, and they've built this so that people instead of items are being listed.
Hmm.
And what you can see is it's quite different from our typical flow. Let me just put them side by side. So
Mm.
a typical listing would look like kind of an Airbnb listing
Hmm.
where you have a calendar available, you can book the person's time,
Hmm.
but really what you're booking is a music lesson.
Hmm.
But for this marketplace, the owner of the marketplace really wanted it to look more like you're interacting with a person
Hmm.
and you are getting that person involved in your project.
Hmm.
So she wanted the profile of the person to be listed, and then the calendar below. So this is all something that you can do on Arcadia just using the custom code tools, and it's all possible even on the out of the box off the shelf
Nice.
solution.
While we're
Yeah.
here, can I ask another question? It looks like if you scroll down a little bit on that,
Yeah.
page. So there's this USD figure here, and there's a buy now option. Am I correct in understanding that in addition to the Airbnb scheduling item model, you also have a Fiverr style model where there's a pre-packaged product that you can buy out of the box, just like a regular e-commerce product?
Yes. So we allow the merchant to decide how they want to package their pricing.
Hmm.
So you can charge by a one-time service. You can also charge by a month, or you can charge by a day. So people can book you for a couple of days, or they can just buy a service off you.
Okay.
What we also allow the user to do is when they are chatting with the merchant can actually send across another price
Hmm.
that that you've negotiated down. For example,
Hmm.
say I say, "Hey, can I get a better rate because right now I can't afford this
Hmm.
amount, but we really want you at our event." The buy the merchant doesn't have to go off platform to settle.
Yeah.
They can just offer another price right off the bat.
Okay. So that seems like there's kind of like similar with Fiverr, you have a customizable uh, product that you create, a unique product that you create just for that customer. So a
Yeah,
couple of follow-up questions there, because I think this is really getting to the heart of some of the decisions that entrepreneurs make as to which platform they use based on the customization of their particular user flow. Um, is it
yeah,
possible to have more than one item that you're displaying? Could you have maybe four different products in addition to your calendar, or is it just a single
yeah.
product?
Yeah, great question. So I'm now logged in as the merchant,
Okay.
and as you can see, I've uploaded four different products on the marketplace.
Oh, I'm not
And
seeing that. Sorry. Where do I see that?
sorry, um, let me change the window I'm sharing.
Mhm.
Right. Are you seeing it
Ah,
now?
now I got it. Yeah.
Right. Perfect. Sorry about that. So this is a merchant portal where I've logged in as a merchant on the musician marketplace that I showed earlier.
Mhm.
And as you can see, I've uploaded four products. So I can this can work two ways. I can actually be the one providing all four services, or I could be managing people that are listing all these services. So the calendars of them are actually exclusive. They're mutually exclusive. So they're not going to be the same calendar. So if you
Per
want them to,
service.
yeah, correct. Every service has its own calendar. So in a I mean, in a easy way to understand it would be like you having multiple houses on Airbnb, right? So
Understood.
they each
Yeah.
have their own schedules.
So
Yeah,
an
but
agency could have you could create a platform for agencies to be able to sell their individual talent.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
And I can see also here that it says, there's always a unit attached to it per hour, per
Yeah,
month, whatever. Is there also a kind of a one-off price, like it's £100, that's it?
yeah. So you can also set it to a a per service booking.
Mhm.
So let's see. So you can actually set it to a per service booking.
Okay.
This is a slightly older marketplace, so that feature might not have made it here,
Mhm.
but you can set it to a per service booking, and you can also have multiple seats on those bookings. So you can have like $500 per service,
Mhm.
and then you can say this has 5 slots. So you can book like multiple, you can allow people to book multiple slots as well,
Okay.
right? So yeah, that's here.
Okay. And then one final question on this is, thinking about the typical freelancer marketplace, which is demand driven in a sense that someone says, I'm interested in finding this particular service, and then they get different candidates to respond to them. And those journeys tend to end in a contract which consists of multiple services, which are, in your case, they will each be custom services and they will each represent one stage of the process, like a milestone. So
Mhm.
they say, okay, this is the first step, buy this product. This is the second step, buy this product. Do you kind of have a workflow or a view somewhere where someone can purchase multiple different of these milestones in a row? So can you use your platform to actually build a freelancer marketplace in that sense,
Right.
where a collection of
Um,
items becomes part of a contract?
so what we do allow for is a slightly simplified flow around that.
Mhm.
It's not so much hiring multiple freelancers, even though that's probably something that can be worked through with, let's say, you can pull in like recommended listings, but that's more of a customizations.
I mean, it's sorry
But you
to just to
can
clarify, Hessen. I mean, I'm talking about hiring a single freelancer, but they have actually
right.
multiple different services that are being purchased as part of the same package, if you
Right.
like. Mhm.
Um, how we allow for that is not so much allowing them to book a distinct service
Okay.
alongside this one, but more of like add-ons. Because how we've seen the behavior of freelancers, typically, how they typically sell their services, besides having a variable increase in price. For example, um, if you're ordering my services and you need me for 5 hours and you also need me to be performing this other service during the 5 hours, then yeah, that might require you to add on another variable kind of service. I believe that's possible, but what we have off the shelf
Mhm.
is more of an add-on. So
Okay.
you can kind of specify things like, do you also need a musical instrument, right? So let's say uh, piano. Okay, it's hard to bring a piano along with you. A guitar. So let's say you're offering them to a guitar as well as an add-on. So if they need a guitar, you charge them $30 extra
Okay.
for. So you can kind of package it that way.
Mhm.
You can also kind of say, if you need me to do some tuning for you before I start, yeah, you can
Okay.
just add those add-ons. Yeah,
So, in the case that someone, let's say someone does a piece of work, and then next week they do another piece of work, um,
yeah.
and the customer wants to pay each one independently. They don't want to pay all of them at once. They want to just pay one at a
Mhm.
time. Would the vendor in this case, would they keep providing them with custom uh, services, and the customer would then purchase each one at a time? Is that how it would work?
So yeah, I think the what the seller can probably do
Hmm.
is create a listing around that extra service,
Okay.
and then the buyer can then buy that. So that's how we would typically work around it. It's not
Okay.
so much, yeah, it's not so much going to be the same listing having more add-ons. It's just going to be them or the customer purchasing like a tune-up or like scope extra scope kind of service,
Yeah,
right?
and then
So
they can
like
be individual. Each service could
yeah,
be custom built for that particular need.
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So the merchant can create as many listings as they want. There isn't a limit on that, so they can actually create these listings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And would those listings be private to that particular seller, or would the listings have to be published as an available listing
So
on public?
so off the shelf, it will be public to everyone,
Okay.
but it can also be a private listing if you want to do a little bit of customization around it.
Okay.
There will be a there will be a private plugin that needs to be built for that, and then the listings it basically gets a third option of
Okay.
being listed or hidden. It'll be private, so then no one can see it except someone who's holding on to the URL or
Okay.
someone you've offered it to.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Okay. Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for
yeah,
those answers.
no worries at all. Yeah, so just while we're on the merchant page,
Mm-hmm.
just to so that you kind of see on a high level what you can do. So you can obviously add services. So you can add a new service. You can also view the bookings that have been made on you in the past. And you can also specify certain input values about yourself. So, okay, let me load it. Yeah, and you would also be able to see a very simple dashboard of your performance. So it's just a way to measure your how you've been doing this month versus your previous months, or this week versus your previous weeks. So all that's doable on the merchant platform, and every merchant has their own platform. So it really makes it easy for you to kind of give control to
Mm-hmm.
your merchants instead of having to micromanage them as you might have to if you were helping them to list every time, or you were helping them to process their bookings every time. So
Mm-hmm.
they can go in themselves, they can manage this themselves.
Okay. Just
Okay.
another question that just occurred to me. Sorry to go back to payments. Many people, one of the business model is to take a commission, and we discussed split payments previously.
Yeah.
How does it work depending on the marketplace owner if they want to customize their actual business model? So maybe this is a wider question, not just how do you set up split payments and commissions, but how could you add different um, business models to that? For example, a membership, premium membership for a particular
Right.
type of vendor.
So So an example would be like subscription, right?
Mhm.
Subscription to
Yep.
be able to be a seller on a marketplace or buyer. So that's something that can be done. It is a customization, and it is a plugin
Mhm.
that we want to be launching as well.
Mhm.
So right now it's not yet a plugin,
Mhm.
but we hope to be able to launch it as a installable extension in a marketplace. So the
Nice.
ability to charge a subscription. Yeah, so as you can see, we've already created some plugins for Arcadia users.
Mhm.
So some of them would be like allowing them to do discounts on the site. Some of them would be setting a minimum quantity, but that's more for retail. And then setting up a blog page to extend your marketplace. So we're hoping for the ninth one to be the subscription plugin.
Cool. And
Yeah.
how do you determine demand? Do you have a place where marketplace owners can, upvote new plugin options to recommend which one to be developed next?
Yeah. So we have a couple of avenues for that. We have a community page on our help center. So every user can go in, put in a feature request. You can look for the top voted requests and vote them up. So we've actually been steadily working down that list and building either new features or new plugins for our
Mhm.
users. So that's where we've gotten quite a lot of the inspiration behind like what we can build for our users. So escrow is definitely a big request, but we're also figuring out the best way to do it
Sure.
in a way that services more clients, not just the ones in Europe. So yeah, so we're figuring out from how our users have been posting. A lot of them have even given like useful tips on what other software they want Arcadia integrated with, and
Mhm.
that's always a welcome sight.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, okay, cool. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Right. So I'm not sure if we're kind of like out of time, but
I mean, I,
I just
I,
wanted.
I have time, but if you want to, if you got stuff to do, that's fine. But just so you know, I have time on my side.
Okay, perfect. I mean, just wanted to just talk about talk a little bit about two more features.
Please.
Mainly that as the owner of the marketplace, you also can list your services. So there is a start selling button here.
Hmm.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, and you also have the ability to determine different commissions by categories. So let's say you want, let's go to account settings, commissions. let's say you want to set a particular commission,
Nice.
a particular category, that can be a way of lowering or encouraging people to be listing in that category for a period of time. So that's entirely controllable by you.
Cool.
Something that we will introduce in the future would be commissions by merchants. So you can give a merchant a preferable commission if they've been with you for a while, or if they sign some exclusivity clause with you.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
a global scheme would be interesting as well on a level similar to Upwork, where you say, you know, the first $500 are 20%, then it goes down to 10% after 1,000. So you're
mm,
encouraging loyalty.
yeah, yeah. That's a good suggestion as well. So yeah, I think those are all things we want to consider. But we will probably launch them as plugins in the future. Or we're also encouraging developers to build plugins on Arcadia.
Okay.
I think as we get more traffic, as we get more people who are building marketplaces on us, there's
Hmm.
going to be a bigger market for people who want to build custom apps and sell them. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting a lot more of those on our marketplace as well,
Great.
our app marketplace. Yeah.
I think you
Right.
wanted to share one more thing. There were two things you
Right.
mentioned.
Yeah. So I think the other thing would be language. So Arcadia's prided itself with being able to support multilingual functions
Hmm.
in the marketplace. So the other thing I just wanted to share is that it's really easy to set up for multiple languages.
Hmm.
So let's say I add a new language, and I can actually set it as default for, let's say, my buyers. Let's say my buyers prefer to transact in Mandarin. Once I save this, I can edit every single word on the marketplace in these two languages.
Okay.
So yeah, just to show how easy it would be. So yeah, so I would then be able to edit every single word in Mandarin
Okay, cool.
or which other language. Yeah, so we also allow them to pull directly from Google Translate if that's something that's they want to do.
Hmm. And that email
Yeah.
notifications tool, can that be used for marketing, or is that just changing transactional emails?
It's changing transactional emails.
Okay.
If you want to do email marketing, you can use a plugin that we have.
It's the
I think
MailChimp
it's
one,
Mail.
presumably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
cool.
this is really to just blast your base. But then your transactional emails can be edited as well,
Hmm.
even down to HTML level.
Wow. What about
Yeah.
support for end users? Can you integrate with Intercom or something like that?
Yeah, they can actually put a front end plugin
Hmm.
fairly easily on custom code. So we use Zendesk, and for Zendesk, they provide a very short HTML snippet,
Hmm.
and for someone who's operating the marketplace, they can simply copy that snippet and paste it in the custom code HTML part.
Hmm.
So it will pop up on their site immediately after they do that. So
And then they
it's
just
really quite,
manage it independently, right? So they have to have
yeah,
their own Zendesk account.
correct.
Yeah.
So they would need their own Zendesk account, but we do allow our users to write FAQs for their site as well. So that's something that they can do under here. Yeah, so they
Okay.
can edit all these as well, just to make it easier for their users
Hmm.
um, to read up and how to use the marketplace.
Cool. I know that we're out of time. I'm just wondering whether you have a few more minutes just to whittle through some super fast questions and answers.
Yeah, sure,
Okay,
sure. Yeah.
fantastic. Um, so what support is kind of technical support is provided by your team, and is that related to the package that you purchase?
Right. So we have a ticketing system that allows users to contact us, talk to us. We also have a help center
Mhm.
that's 24 hours. It's really quite uh, it's really quite, it's around how to use our features.
Mhm.
And most of the time we find customers contacting us because of, like domain related issues. That's something that we support as well. So we can help our users to kind of contact, or we can help our users troubleshoot their domain related issues with GoDaddy and
Mhm.
guys like that. But most of the tickets right now have been around that. So it's like external to our platform.
Mhm.
Um, Most of the things that you want to do on your site, you can find in the help center.
Okay.
If you wanted to build customization, so if you want to
Mhm.
build beyond what we offer on our
Yeah.
platform,
Mhm.
there are a couple of options around that.
Mhm.
So we have development partners
Right.
that, much like um, Shopify experts, would be Arcadia experts,
Mhm.
and they would be able to help you customize your site using the API package on Arcadia. So
Okay.
um, on our pricing, we do have some packages that allow you to use APIs.
So that's the top two packages there.
Yes,
Okay.
top two packages. We're kind of changing this soon, but right
Okay.
now it's the top two packages, and it allows you to access APIs, and these developers would help you to do that.
Okay.
So they would
Understood.
typically, yeah, they would typically build like private plugins for
Sure.
you and front end for you.
So what's the
We also
difference between the API access and building a completely custom package using your API and your enterprise service?
Right. So thanks for asking. The biggest difference is that the enterprise service is meant for corporates that have been operating for a while now,
Mhm.
and they already have a lot of customers, and sometimes they even have their own digital team.
Mhm.
So the enterprise package is a headless solution where it's just the APIs
Mhm.
and you're building your front end around it.
Sure.
You also get an account manager from Arcadia. You'll also get a pre-sales engineer. So we would basically be the ones managing your entire marketplace project. We
Okay.
might bring in a development partner because we have that as an option, because sometimes the enterprise has their own technology team that that's familiar with their own product, that wants to be the one that manages the coding.
Mhm.
So the two options are: we can bring in a development partner that we manage for you, or we can work with a team that's in the enterprise itself.
Mhm.
So the biggest difference is that for the enterprise, it will be a lot higher in terms of security requirements.
Sure.
A lot higher in terms of server deployment, and in terms of the bandwidth that they require on their particular server.
Mhm.
And usually they're building out quite a complex flow. So we will support with that as well, with our API, with our engineer advising on the API architecture and things like that. So I think
Okay.
that would be the difference between the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's all hosted by you, obviously.
So for the enterprise deployment, they
Yeah.
actually have the option to host it themselves as
Okay.
well. So we make it flexible around the client.
Mhm.
We also have a package that allows people to do standalone deployment. So it goes into their own standalone server or their own on-prem server. That's all something we can support as well.
Okay. That makes sense. So at what point would let's say a startup who is just getting started and they're building an MVP and they're just trying to test whether they can reach product market fit, they will probably use one of your prepackaged modules services. They may
Yeah.
even hire a development team on the upper end of your package. At what point would they decide we're starting to reach scale, we need to move over to the enterprise model? Is that, in terms of pricing, if you're okay to discuss it, is that a very big jump to go from the premium side of your package to the enterprise, where you provide a whole lot more customization support?
I would say it is a big jump in terms of the amount of um, architectural support that you have around your marketplace.
Hmm.
Um, I I wouldn't go I wouldn't like share the exact pricing,
Sure.
but it's more around the, like from the off the shelf packages being about like 400 or 100 to 400 US dollars.
Hmm.
The other one would be in the thousands.
Okay.
So in enterprise, Arcadia would charge in the thousands per month,
Hmm.
and it's really around. I mean, the floor of the pricing has gone up because you're getting a dedicated
Sure.
server and you're getting a dedicated team
Yeah, you're getting
behind it.
people, which are expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that's the main cost increase. I think for startups that want to grow, we provided enterprise with them in mind as well. So we
Mhm.
do want to we do support startups that are at a stage where they want their own deployment and where they recognize the need for um, dedicated security around their data and things like
Mhm.
that. And typically, it would be startups that have begun to be more, I would call it, um, obligated to certain stakeholders
Mhm.
that require their data to be more secure. And I think that's a cost that they would have to bear anyway. So that's when we would say we'd suggest moving on to enterprise. Otherwise, I think as startups grow, it will always be better if they're more agile in
Mhm.
terms of the things that they're subscribed to, the kind of setup they've done.
Mhm.
So typically, even though we do want our users to scale on Arcadia, we also want them to recognize that there are some features that just have to be tweaked a little,
Mhm.
and which would fulfill that functionality. So they don't have to do the big jump to enterprise just to get some customizations. They can already do it on our off-the-shelf packages. Enterprise is more of a jump when you
Sure.
need that dedicated support.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, two final quick questions. One of them is I've seen some press articles about Arcadia X, and I wanted to just get a one sentence kind of summary of what that is, and then finally, how do people reach out to your team if they're interested in Arcadia products and they've got more questions?
Great. So Arcadia X is a blockchain initiative by Arcadia to link multiple marketplaces together
Okay.
in order to create a better ecosystem for marketplaces. The two main elements of it would be trust and also accessibility. So we want to make sure that things move across seamlessly, but in a way that's secure. Arcadia X right now is on pause
Okay.
as we focus on building up the enterprise proposition. And so yeah, but it's something that we're excited about, and we think that blockchain, given that it's still developing, is the future for a lot of transactions that will happen online, and we definitely want to uh, be heavily involved with that as
So
a marketplace
watch this
provider.
space.
Yes, watch this space. Thank you.
Great.
For yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying
For
it
your
sounds
second point,
really exciting. So let's move on to how people can reach out and ask questions.
yeah, just reach out to us on hello@Arcadia, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. You can reach out to me as well at Hesson@Arcadia, so that's HESSON at arcadia.com, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So right now, I'm speaking to a lot of enterprise clients that are building really exciting projects. So if you think that building a marketplace is something that you consider as a way to either build a business or even come alongside your existing business to amplify it or to serve your users better, yeah, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to share more about what we do.
Great, Hassan. Thank you so much for your time. I know we've gone over time, and you've been a real gentleman. Thank you so much for explaining everything, and it's been a pleasure. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much, and really appreciate your time as well. Not a problem on the overtime. All right, thank you.